In this video, we're going to show you the 5 essential movements for full body flexibility mastery, including the pike, the German hang, the back bridge, the front splits, and the middle splits. Let's get flexible and feel free in our body again. Let's start with the back bridge. You can get into the back bridge from many different positions, which I'll show you in a moment. The back bridge is going to strengthen the entire back of the body, including the glutes, the lower back, and the shoulders. It's also going to lengthen the front of the body, including the hip flexors, the abs, and the chest. You can get into the back bridge as I just demonstrated earlier, or you can start by laying down on the floor, pressing the hips up, and then pressing the chest up into the air. And if you can't do your back bridge from the floor yet, we've got a couple of supplementary exercises that you can use to help you get there. For beginners, you can start with your back against a wall. Place your hands against the wall with your fingers pointing down. Walk your feet away a little bit, and then start to straighten your arms and push your chest up towards the sky. If you feel comfortable here, you can also start to walk your hands down the wall a little bit. If you notice that it starts to get hard to breathe, then you've probably gone just a bit too far. Slowly walk your hands up, walk your feet back to the wall, walk your back to the wall, and come out of it when you're ready. Good technique for beginners to try first. If you're a little bit more advanced, you can put your feet up on an elevated surface like a bench or this funky rock wall I've got here. Lay down on the floor, put your hands on the ground, lift your hips up first, and then press up. Now this is going to require a little bit more strength in the shoulders, but having your feet elevated is going to make it a little bit easier to press your chest forward and stretch out once you get up here. Practice this one, slowly get your feet closer and closer to the ground until you can do the full back bridge. The German hang is a great stretch for the upper body. It's going to stretch out your shoulders, your chest, and your biceps. You can also experiment with different grips. For instance, I did that one with a pronated grip. You can also try it with a supinated grip. So if you can't do that rotational flipping movement I just demonstrated, called a skin the cat, you can also just step up onto a bench, reach back, find a tight grip, and slowly step maybe 1 foot off. Make sure everything feels good, and if that feels fine, then you can step the opposite foot off as well. Stay active at the start and be very careful with this one. You want to make sure that you've got good stability in your shoulders as well as flexibility for this exercise. But again, if you're at a more beginner phase, if you've never tried movements like this before, we've got one more for you. Shoulder dislocators are a great way to start working towards your German hang. Don't worry, you're not going to dislocate your shoulders if you start with a nice wide grip. You can use a strap like I am, or you can use a resistance band, or even like a broomstick if you're at home. The wider the grip is, the easier it's going to be, and the narrower you go, the harder it's going to be, okay? Keep your elbows completely straight and feel that stretch through the chest and the shoulders. Just like we did with the German hang, you can try a pronated grip or you can try a supinated grip to get a slightly different stretch. And that'll help you prepare for the full German hang. The middle splits. You gotta breathe through it. Middle splits are a great stretch for the inner thigh and the hips. You're also gonna strengthen your glutes by working towards this posture. Now this is obviously very advanced and it's gonna take you some time to get there, but again, we've got some techniques that you can use if you're more of a beginner. I would highly recommend that you start working towards your middle split with some 90-90 hip rotations. You can place your hands on the ground behind you and windshield wiper your knees from one side to the other, trying to keep the distance between your knees roughly equivalent, trying to keep your hips close to touching the ground, and keeping those knees at roughly a 90-degree angle. If you get good at this with your hands on the ground, you can try doing it with your hands lifted. Once you feel like you're really opening up in those 90-90 stretches, you can try the butterfly stretch. Feet together, fingers interlaced around the toes or around the ankles, up to you. Flapping those butterfly wings. It's going to help to start open up the inner thigh and engage the glutes. Once you start opening up there, try the pancake stretch. Keep your legs at roughly a 90-degree angle relative to one another. Take an inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, start to lean forward. You might stick with your pancake stretch for quite a while. When you're at the point where you're starting to get almost like stomach to floor, then you can start to open the legs up, push the hips forward, and progressively get closer and closer to that middle split. Our next posture for flexibility mastery is the front split. This one's going to open up the hamstrings, the hip flexor, and generally the lower body overall. Now, again, this is quite an advanced posture, but to get there, you can use a couple of preliminary postures. The first one I'd recommend is the low lunge. This one you can think of as stretching out the back half of your front split. So your target is the hip flexor, this muscle on the front of the hips where you're going to feel a deep stretch. And you're aiming to sink the hips down closer to the floor over time. You can use your fingertips like measuring sticks, aiming to get those fingers closer to the floor as you continue to come back to this stretch. Gently squeeze the glute and keep sinking down. Once you start to get a little bit closer to the ground in that low lunge, you can push your hips back, straighten your front leg, and find a half split position. We're trying to get this leg straight, stretching the hamstring, gently squeezing the quad, pointing your toes up towards the sky, and doing your best to straighten and lengthen your spine. If you can't get your spine straight here, you can elevate your hands on top of blocks, start here, and slowly move closer and closer to getting palms to the floor. Once you've got both of those positions pretty stretched out, you're starting to feel more mobile here, you can put them together and it'll feel fairly natural to slide that front foot forward and find your full front split position. Let's move on to our final movement for flexibility mastery. The pike, otherwise known as a forward fold, is a great stretch for the hamstrings, the glutes, and the lower back. To get this deep into a pike is going to take a little bit of work and some practice. So, just like we did for the other movements, we've got a few supplementary exercises that you can use to slowly get deeper into your pike. My favorite one for this is the Jefferson curl. You saw me perform this movement in the introduction of this video where I was holding a couple of small dumbbells in hand. I would recommend that you start with no weight. You're going to stand on an elevated, stable surface. You can take a deep breath as you lift your chest and gaze up. And exhale as you bring your chin to your chest, roll your shoulders forward, squeeze your abs, squeeze your butt around your spine as much as you can, and slowly reach your fingertips past your toes, actively reaching for the floor, getting as deep into your pike as you can. You can repeat that for a number of repetitions, and then after maybe 3 to 5 reps, hold this position for 30 seconds to a minute, and then slowly come back up and out. When you start to feel comfortable with that movement, with nothing in hand, you can start to hold small weights to help pull you down deeper into that pike position over time. That's my favorite one to help with your forward fold. These 5 postures are going to help you unlock full body flexibility and mobility, improve your athleticism, and make you feel free in your body again. Remember to be patient with your progress, to enjoy the process, and to move as mindfully as you can. If something's painful, don't do it and just take your time, all right? If you want a program that's gonna help you unlock all 5 of these movements and postures and include the supplementary exercises into sets, reps, plus many more techniques and strategies to help you improve your flexibility, you can check out the Flexibility Mastery Program in the Evolution Collective. Links in the description. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. There's going to be many more videos like this coming in the near future. All right? I trust you enjoyed today's video, and as always, wishing you very well.